you need a lot of energy, right? When you're starting a
Right.
business.
Am I really doing something that's important to my life, or am I just doing it for money? And it's going to be a bit of a conflict.
Welcome to the podcast, Keeping It Real, the Purpose-Driven Life with Laura and Lynn.
Tune in for candid conversations, practical tips, inspiring stories, and actionable advice on navigating life and business. Today's topic is building a purpose-driven business. A purpose-driven business. And why is it important to build a purpose-driven business? A couple things. For one is, if you're going to put all the time, all the energy it takes to build a business, and it takes time and energy and money and everything, the family, everybody's involved in it, because essentially it's going to suck up some of your time, your effort. So you really want to consider what business that you really want to go into.
It's
And
going to
today's
take a
topic is
lot of
about.
time.
Now, why do you say so much time, Laura? Why do you think it takes so much time?
Well, I think anytime you're starting a business, I think it's ingrained that we're going to spend a lot of time starting that business.
Starting business, yes. Ingrained, yes.
Yeah.
Uh, so, so what is it that you want to do? What is it that called you to start a business? This is the first place you really want to start. You really want to hone in to what it is that you really want to do. And here's why. When it gets into those hours of running the business, and time and challenges will come up, you really want to be involved in something that you just love to do. And when you love to do something, then you're really not working, because 80% of people right now are working something that they really did not have a passion to do. They're doing it because it pays the bills. So when it comes down to actually starting a business, you really want to do a business that you have a passion for, and that you'll put your heart and soul into it. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to start something that you're kind of interested in, and then down the road you go, wow, I'm not that excited about it. And I got to tell you, I did that. I started the business. I was with a successful gentleman, a couple other partners. We did great, except it was something that I just couldn't get my passion into it. So actually, after we got off the ground, what I found myself doing was trying to get myself in the business. And that's not really what you want to do. You really want to start something that you have a passion for. And how you figure that out is you just go through your life and figure out what area in your life that you have passions for. There's no other way to do it. The only person that can figure out where your passions are at is you. So, Laura, what's
Yeah,
your
I don't.
passions?
What's my passion? Oh my gosh. Well, my passion, obviously, we're an example of that. Uh, my passion is supporting others in designing and having an authentic, purpose-driven business.
Right,
And so
exactly.
that's what gets me excited, is what can we do to support your success. So when you talk about passion, it looks different for each and every one of us, but you have to take the time to actually think about that passion and reflect upon what gets you excited when you wake up in the morning. What do you want to spend your time doing? Because it is a lot of work. And starting a business, we're not saying that it's going to be as easy as 1, 2, 3. I mean, there are some hoops to jump through, or some technical legalities, but there's enough people out there who can support your vision, that if you're doing something you love, you can get the right team together to help you and to do the things that you may not feel as confident about, or may not feel as sure about. I mean, and that's part of what we do, is we help people with that. But it's really about, what is something you can do that you feel really authentic and feel really driven, that it's going to make a difference in the lives of others.
Exactly.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh no, I absolutely agree, because it's if you go into business purely about the money and not about doing something that you want to do, yeah, at some point that's gonna be the issue, is, am I really doing something that's important to my life? or am I just doing it for money? And it's going to be a bit of a conflict. So exactly what you said, Laura, the purpose of this show right here and us too right here is to support you in being successful in business, life, personal life, whatever it is. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, so I'd love to hear, do you have an example to share of when, I mean, I think we learn from non-examples too, and I'm thinking of a non-example, so I'm curious if you have one too. I had the purpose right in my example, so in my past experience, my purpose was there, yet the partnership that I formed was not as authentic as it needed to be. So we were not successful in the same way that I think we would have been if we all would have sat down and said, this is our purpose for this business. This is what we really want from this business. I think we all had different goals. For those who were just driven by profit, it looked a lot different from those of us who were really wanting to make a difference in our users' experience. So, you know, my business is in instructional design. So when you think about e-learning and designing, you know, modules for training, you know, I wanted to make sure that I was not only thinking about return on investment, but that it was very learner centered. But I was the only one at the table thinking that way. I was the only one driven by that passion. Everyone else was thinking, well, how can we make money at this? And I think that's where we get things mixed up. Is yes, that we support making money. We're not saying that that's not important. But in order to be authentic in that, you have to approach it in a way where it's driven by your purpose. It's driven by your authenticity before you can actually even think about making money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense to me anyway, Laura.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear about your example.
Well, I mean, I think that just the whole idea of being on the same page, that's a huge, you know, so the idea is number one is doing something that you absolutely love and want to do. That can take some time to do that because actually the number one thing when you get a group of 100 people in a room together and you ask them, okay, what would you all like to do, is you'll have at least 90% of the people who don't even know exactly what they want to do. So that's why we're starting with that topic, because you really want to nail that part down. Then once you nail down the part about what it is that you want to do, then it comes down to the systems of what you want to do. Like, because business is really systems, meaning that the license, the bank account, the this and the that. But what, Laura, like you're saying, your specialty is that educational background of it. Well, mine is simply that I'm able to have conversations with people and be able to see what it is that their specialty is, what they're good at, and actually able to discuss with them how to bring that out, and so that they get excited about what's going on in their life. So that's what our combination, our specialty is doing that. But for my, I would say for I was involved in the packaging business, and the packaging business was yes, going great guns, but it just wasn't truly, I wasn't able to help people the way that I was wanting to help people. So that's a perfect example. I spent all the time setting the business up. We built the building, the structure out. Um, what else? Yeah, we did everything it was for 3 years to get that baby rolling. It was rolling, and there was just no drive in me, and so it was really painful too. It's also very expensive. It was a very expensive little thing that I did, because at the end of the day, I wasn't able to keep going it for on and on and on, because I decided it just wasn't in my heart to do it. So that was a lesson learned.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to add to that. I also think it's important to, if you're working with others, to build in an effective communication model. So that to me, if you are in a partnership or you're working with a team, really at the very beginning, setting the agreements for how you all, as managing partners, will communicate. That I think is crucial, because if at any point one of your team partners, or your, like in our case, we're a partnership. If at some point we don't feel like we can be honest and authentic with each other, ooh, that's just trouble brewing. And that's where then things start to shut down. So your business may still be going well, but you've lost that authenticity, because you have to be able to talk through anything that feels scratchy, or anything that doesn't feel aligned with your vision, with your goals. And I think that's really important to talk about up front, because in my non-example, we had a successful business, but things kept getting swept under the carpet. The communication shut down. And so it got to the point where I was the only one communicating, and because nobody wanted to deal with it. And so then it just kind of like grew. It's like a volcano. It bubbles up, and then it explodes. And you don't want that, because that also takes away from your energy. You need a lot of energy, right, when you're starting a
Right.
business.
Yes, you do.
So that's just something else I wanted to add.
No, I absolutely. I think we're saying clearly at the beginning, make sure that you get it. We're actually helping you to realize that these things have got to be brought up in the beginning at the front. That's what you want to do. You want to be clear about the business that you're going in, clear about the people that you're going in with. Everything's clear, because down the road, it's going to come up. So you want to just start off with that way
and
on the
get
right
sticky.
Get sticky.
Yeah.
Scratchy, as Laura says, scratchy.
Scratchy. So that transparency, I think it's really in purpose about being transparent about your purpose and the impact. What impact do you want? Because that can also be a point of contention, is if you have two partners in a business and they're not on the same level in terms of the value and the importance that this business is, that can also create gaps. But if you're in business for yourself, is there transparency with your significant others? So does your family understand the amount of time it's going to take to get this launched, to get this business launched? And that's where our coaching comes in. So our group sessions, in terms of just really making sure that you have thought through all the implications in terms of communication, in terms of mission, vision, etc.
Right. And also in terms of, we actually have a short course on helping you actually figure out what exact, what business to go in, profession to go in, whatever venture that you'd like to go into. And that ends up being very important. And a side note, there's nothing greater that you can do in your life than starting something that you have your passion behind. There's nothing. It's exciting. It's wonderful, and it can be very profitable. Make no mistake, it can be very profitable. And so, yeah, we just want to get you going in the right direction. So when you start going down that road, everything looks good, everything's rolling, and you're excited about it, and life is good. Absolutely.
Life is good.
So one of the things we said, we mentioned about doing the courses. We have short courses to do right now in order to help you get started. We also do groups to help you get started. And this is based on what it is that you need as a person. It's totally based off of what it is that you need to help you get started in the business. Our goal is to do one thing and one thing only to help you be successful. That's it. That's the only thing we have in mind. And we want to make as many people successful as possible.
And to continue being successful.
And to continue. If you're in a business right now and you want it to be more exciting, or more alive, more profitable, more, or your life more profitable, more exciting, you're in the right place. We're very positive people, and we want to keep that going, and we want to be a positive influence in your life.